XFM News on point.
The news on XFM. I'm Chris or Tim. Women rights activists want Parliament to amend the Employment Act to provide for protection of women at workplaces. This follows a report finding by the Uganda Women's Network, which indicated an increase in cases of sexual harassment. Sarah Agwang, the programs officer for the Uganda Women's Network, says women are harassed verbally and non-verbally with inappropriate touches, seductive looks and messages, among others. She has advised women to report such cases.
But when you look at the Employment Act, the regulations, it says that an employer can issue regulations around protection on sexual harassment if they have 25 employees and above. Now, for employers who have 25 employees below, the law is so silent about it. So it can happen even to where only 4 people are employed, and yet the law is very silent about it. That's why we need to advocate for amendment of the regulations.
The Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, has directed the Minister of Internal Affairs to explain what happened in Mityana when police tear-gassed the Buganda Kingdom's Mbogo clan members. Last Saturday, police in Mityana district used tear gas to disperse members of the Mbogo clan who had convened at their ancestral site in Mugulu Zigoti Town Council to attend a Thanksgiving for the leader of their clan. The matter was yesterday brought to Parliament by the Mityana Municipality MP Francis Zake, who noted that even though the clan leaders had observed the standard operating procedures, police went ahead to tear gas them. He now wants the Minister of Internal Affairs to apologize to the affected elders on behalf of government and suspend the DPC of Mityana. This prompted the Speaker to summon the Minister of Internal Affairs.
Precious enough for government to come up to condemn the act and also to do something about it, because the DPC really accepted the fact that he did wrong. I want to thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, the Minister of Internal Affairs should come and explain to the House and the country the incident at Muguru, where the famous Mbogo clan were holding their meeting and they were set upon by the state agencies. If you could report to us when we resume in November.
The National Social Security Fund, NSSF, has unveiled the agency service that will enable its members to make transactions at the nearest agents. The Managing Director of NSSF, Richard Byarugaba, says the fund's body has 19 branches, serving over 2 million customers. But with this new agent service, customers will no longer travel long distances to access the NSSF offices. He adds that the service is expected to reduce the fund's operational and administrative costs. Parliament has summoned the Attorney General to clarify on the implementation of Section 14 in the Political Parties and Organisation Act after the Bujiri Municipality MP Asumani Basalirwa complained about the distribution of 15 billion shillings to political parties. Basalirwa told Parliament that parties had to share the 15 billion equally, regardless of the numerical strength in Parliament. He added that the same was agreed during the iPod meeting at Munyonyo.
Right, Honourable Speaker, this distribution is against the law. Section 14A, Right Honourable Speaker, of the Political Parties and Organizations Act is to the effect that once money is for electoral activities, it is distributed equally. That is the law, Right Honourable Speaker.
The Minister of State for Planning, David Bahati, rejected the claims and said the funds were distributed as provided for by the Act, which prompted the Speaker to summon the Attorney General to interpret Section 14 of this Act.
So the Munyonyo spirit is what we are looking, the money we are looking for, the 35 billion, which we have not been able to raise. But the 15 is for you to continue funding the activities of the party like we have done in the last 4 years.
Nevertheless, honourable members, I think I still want the Minister of Justice to come and explain the import of Section 14 outside the Munyonyo spirit.
Now in Africa news. A number of people taking part in protests against police brutality have reportedly been shot dead or injured in Nigeria's biggest city, Lagos. A witness said he had counted more than 20 bodies and at least 50 injured after soldiers opened fire. Amnesty International said it had obtained credible reports of deaths. The authorities have promised an investigation into the shooting. An indefinite 24-hour curfew has been imposed on Lagos and other regions. Protests over a now disbanded police unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, also referred to as SARS, have been continuing for 2 weeks. Reacting to the shootings in Lagos, a former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called on Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari and the army to stop killing young #EndSARS protesters. Nigerian footballer Odion Jude Igalo, who plays for Manchester United, accused the Nigerian government of killing its own citizens. "I'm ashamed of this government," he said in a video posted on Twitter. In sports, Lionel Messi scored in a joint record 16th Champions League season, and 17-year-old Pedri netted his first senior goal as Barcelona beat Ferencváros 5-1. Elsewhere, Marcus Rashford repeated his late heroics against Paris Saint-Germain with a superb winner as Manchester United marked their return to the Champions League with a fine 2-1 win at the home of last season's beaten finalists, that's PSG in Paris. And Edouard Mendy has established himself as Chelsea's first-choice goalkeeper after again showing his quality in his side's goalless Champions League draw with Sevilla, says the boss of Chelsea, Frank Lampard. And that's the latest XFM News.
XFM News on point.